Hello and welcome back to the Underground channel. This is part 2 of a series of how to live in your van, how to stay warm on an insulated van that's 12-volt system that insulates your roof, your ceiling, your floor, and your side walls. But this part here, I'm gonna teach you how to turn your ice cold windows into heaters, natural heaters, which works pretty darn good. So you want to subscribe, and you also want to share, because a lot of people are homeless right now due to the first purge called the coronavirus, and with the second purge just now coming out, just started in India. They don't even have a name for it. They don't even know what to call it yet. It's going to get bad out there, and a lot more people are going to become homeless. And now that Trump is not going to be in the office anymore, it's going to get really bad now, like it was back in the Obama days. So I'm going to teach you how to turn your windows into natural heaters. And you want to share this. It would help me out a lot if you would share this video to help other people that might see it on your channel or your Facebook or your Twitter that are homeless, because I'm going to teach people how to stay warm with rocks in their tents if they're living in tents or cardboard boxes. I'm going to teach you a lot of things. And if you're one of these people who are homeless, you want to be sure to subscribe. This stuff, I have been doing it all my life. I mean, you've been watching these videos, how to get a Mr. Buddy heater to stay warm, but there's no thermostat and it gets too hot, or your windows ice up because of condensation. I don't talk just right sometimes because I've had a heart attack and 2 strokes. So forgive me on that, and forgive me that my channel is not fancy like some of these rich people that can put all this stuff in there and get money from commercials that they put on their channels and stuff. I'm broke and I'm back to living in a van again, and thank goodness my friend is letting me share his garage, so I'm in here while it's warm fixing up my van and doing these videos. And if I can get some money and get some equipment, then I can get back into making real good money with painting cars and doing body work and stuff like that. That's another story. So you're on a fixed income, maybe you're on disability like me, or you're just out there with hardly no money, or you might have a part-time job for 2 days or something, but you're living in your van. I'm going to teach you how to live off a 12-volt system with insulated walls, ceiling, and carpet, so that you can stay warm and not have to have these dangerous Mr. Buddies or these propane heaters. You hear the stories in the news where somebody's suffocated or died of carbon dioxide or caught themselves on fire. And this 12-volt system that I'm going to teach you step by step, starting with the floor, and go from there. But as I was telling you, it's going to be a series, so you want to subscribe. So the first thing is how to change your windows from being iced up cold, especially if you live up north, how to turn them into heaters and to keep it from icing up. A lot of people get a lot of problems because the windows ice up because they don't have proper ventilation, and then moisture gets on them and it ices up and makes it colder. Now, if you're in a van, especially a white van, the temperature of metal is approximately 16 to 20 degrees colder than the outside temperature. That's why when you get out, it feels a lot warmer than it does inside your van, especially if you don't have insulation. And that's another thing. A lot of people will spend tons of money insulating and putting panels up and stuff, but a lot of people don't have that kind of money, and your van still gets cold. And a lot of you have contacted me wanting to know how I keep warm, and when it's 30 or below, the first thing I start with is windows. The first step is you can go to the dollar store, get you a can of black paint for like $2.75. Some places will have them on sale for $1. It only takes one. And what you do is, inside your van, you don't paint on the outside. Unless you got real dark tinted windows, then no need to paint. But if you just got plain glass windows, black paint will help turn your windows into heaters and keep the ice off the windows. So you spray paint and get it black. That's step number one. Now you'll have to probably I got 2 coats on it, and I still got a little bit of dots all over it, but I can kind of see out and see if there's any movement outside, but nobody can see in. So I'll show you later. That's your step one. Paint your windows on the inside and the back, because you don't need to see out these windows because you got mirrors. So this will save you. Step two, after the paint dries, you want to get you some gray tape and peel off about 4 inches, about that long. Get enough where you can tear it, or unless you got scissors or a razor blade. And what you want to do is overlap it with the sticky side out, make a little circle, put one in each corner. I'm going to go as fast as I can. If I had money, I'd buy the fancy equipment so I could do time lapse and stuff like that. And maybe I could get 1,000 subscribers so I could make a little bit of ends meet and buy food and stuff that I need. Right now, it's tough. And that's why I'm making these videos for you, to show you how you can make it day by day and stay warm. And some of this stuff that I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you the cheapest ways and to get started and to stay warm. And then I'm going to show you the more efficient way so that you can sleep 10, 12 hours and not get cold on a 12-volt system. So you put 4 in each corner. I'll go as fast as I can now. So be sure to share, because there's a lot of people that needs this information, and I can only reach so many. And if you help, that's great. And if you're one of those who are more fortunate than us, people that are homeless and down on their luck right now because of the coronavirus, but living in a van is much safer than living in a house and having people travel around. My friend, his family just got coronavirus because they're all in the house having a birthday party. And 3 of them's already tested positive just in one birthday party. Now, as you see, I got 4. Then 1 more. And I suppose you know where I'm going to put it. Right? You know exactly where I'm going to put this 5th one, right? I tricked you, didn't I? You're right. You're 100% right. Now, you don't want to really touch it, and it takes away the stickiness. And you want to do it, you want your tape to be warm so it's more sticky. If you ever played with duct tape and been out in the winter trying to duct tape something, it's almost impossible to get it to stick. And you want your tape to be warm. Put it on your dash, turn on the defrosters, let it sit for about 10-15 minutes, then you're good to go. Third part, get this cheap carpet. It's real cheap. I don't know what kind of carpet it is. It's almost like an indoor-outdoor carpet, but it's not green, and it's real soft on this side, and you want the flat side to go up against the sticky tape, and you want to measure your windows and cut it a little bit extra, and then you want to kind of measure it out where you're going to go, and then stick it up so that will stick there. Now, putting that tape up there like that serves two purposes. One, it'll hold it there, and two, it'll keep it to the window so it's not like baggy and stuff. Now, if you're living in a van and you don't like this look, you can get fancy, put your curtain rod up there and put curtains over, and it'll be looking good on the inside. Those wives who live in vans with their husbands, they can make it look pretty inside. If you like, me, I'm a guy, I don't need it. And I'm turning this into a mobile body work and painting. I'm getting a mobile tent when I can get the money, and I'm getting a big, the biggest air compressor that Harbor Freight's, but it's horizontal, not vertical. That way it'll fit in here up against my back wall, so I have air wherever I go. And my system, when I get done, will be able to run 220 air compressor, and I'll teach you all that too. You might not have a 220, but some of you do. And I'll show you how to do that off of a 12-volt system. You see these videos, and you watch countless times, and a lot of people keep coming to me saying they used to watch me years ago teaching people how to stay warm sleeping in a tent using rocks. And rocks will get your tent up to about 70 degrees for about 10 hours, and then after that it'll come down to about 65 degrees for about 6 hours, and then you got to recharge your rocks again. But now you want to go back to your duct tape, and then you want to go around the whole outer edge. I'll pause it to make it shorter, but then I'll come back on and show you when I'm done. That way it don't take so much time on the video. So I'll hit pause. Okay, I'm back. Make sure. Yep, I'm recording. Now, as you notice, I put a strip here, a strip there, and a strip at the bottom, and a strip there, because the idea is to seal it all the way around. But I left the corners out so that you can see what you do with your corners. So, without further ado, watch how I do this with the corners. Okay, you can see that. See, they're out and they're too far, right? So what you do is you pull it back and you fold the corners in on all four corners. In. Nobody can see this from the outside, and once you tape it up, you're not going to see how the corners are on the inside either. And if you want, you can put some fancy curtains over it just for looks. I'm just showing you the effectiveness. And then on the corners, after you rounded them and tucked them, you want to go and tape it. Now, if you have one of these vans, you already know air gets inside the panels and comes up through the vent, or you can stick your finger up and around it because the window's on the outer skin, and this is open on the inside. And I guess if your window ever breaks, it makes it easier to reseal a new window up in there and get it in there. That's what I think. I don't know. Maybe you know why. Leave it down in a comment and let me know why there's a big old open gap all the way around the windows, and why didn't they put a rubber seal in there. So I'll do one more, then I'll pause the video, and I'll show you the finished product. So over here, what I do is I take it and pull it a little bit because it's in too far, and then I'll go like that. I don't care what it looks like because I'm not trying to impress anybody. I just want to stay warm all the time and not have to use a lot of energy to stay warm. Well, I just want to talk to you a little bit, so I'm going to leave it on. Now then, a lot of people are going out and buying brand new vans, especially after they see Bob and his channel. That's the thing. They want to go, and and it can be exciting and fun. But there's no real videos on how to stay warm. I mean, you can get those heaters, you can build those candles, put those pots on there and everything. But an open flame eats the oxygen. And then you're getting condensation. And if you open your windows far enough, you're defeating your purpose. The hot air is going out the window, even though you got proper ventilation, and you're going through the gas like crazy, and it's just too expensive. So keep watching. I'm going to show you. Well, all these other channels don't. This is just the way I survive, and I feel like helping other people. And maybe if you are well-to-do, you could send a few bucks to donate, and I'll keep making these videos because I got 10,000 ways to live in a van or a camper or in a tent or however, because I've done it and I've been there, and I'm a survivalist, ex-military, and a lot of people just need this kind of information. Maybe you're one of the ones that needs this information. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm going to show you the effect. I'm going to tell you the effectiveness of this. Now, this works best only when the sun's out. The heat, because you painted your windows black, is absorbed into that collar, and your windows will actually get really hot. Have you ever tried to jump in your car because you got tinted windows and it's hot in your car, twice as hot, and you sit on your seat? Maybe you're wearing, if you're a female, probably wearing a bathing suit, and you on your leather seat, and you're going, ah! Or you put your hands on the steering wheel. Same way with black cars. You know how hot it is when you get in? If it's 80 outside, it's 120 plus inside your car. Use that information. That's good to know. Now, if you live down south, the best thing is a white van because you're fighting against the heat, because it gets hot in the day and gets cold overnight sometimes in the desert. But so you got to go one way or the other. And the best way is to make these portable with Velcro. You don't want to paint your windows black. And if you got a sewing machine, you can make some really cool heaters and Velcro them in. And so you can take them off and on. When it's cold overnight, you Velcro them in, and it will insulate. This carpet will keep a lot of the cold out. I mean, this is thin carpet, so it can breathe through that crack all the way around the window, and the way the air gets inside your doors. But it's still easier to keep you warm if you do have an open flame or whatever. and you got proper ventilation, it'll kind of balance out a little bit, but then you're back into spending money of a night trying to stay warm, you know, say 8 hours. And then propane ain't cheap anymore. So I'm going to teach you how to insulate your van with 12 volt insulations. I don't know what to call it. You'll see as I get to it. A couple parts on down. So I'm going to stop here on part 2. When the sun hits us during the day, say you have to sleep during the day, you won't even need a heater. There's enough windows. These 2 windows will keep my inside about 70, sometimes 75 degrees warm inside with no heater on at all. And without my 12 volt heating insulation on, that I don't even have that on, because these 2 windows, I park it towards the sun if I'm going to sleep or sleep in late the next morning, so the sun hits them, and then the thermostats kick off when I get to a certain temperature, and it just keeps warmer and warmer and warmer. And another thing this carpet does is when the sun does get hot, the carpet gets warm, and it's putting out a safe, even, radiant heat that I can feel on the other side of the van if I'm sleeping in my bed. Let me show you. I got a chair that turns into a bed, and that's what I got right here. And to raise the bed up, because heat rises, the higher you're off the floor, the warmer you're going to be. So I kind of split the difference. And I learned this on Bob's channel. Hey Bob, this is your PVC legs. And added height to the legs by using PVC. And when I stand up in the van, I always feel warmer because I'm up higher. So Bob's got some really good tricks too. Go watch his channel. I think it's called RV Living or RV Lifestyle or something like that. And maybe I'll put a link down below to his channel. Hey Bob, are you interested in a 12 volt insulation? Roof insulated and your sidewalls insulated, and it keeps your van warm using 12 volts. Contact me. Drop a line down here, Bob. So I'm going to end part 2, and if you have a few extra dollars and this kind of information would help you, I'm going to put my PayPal link down. It's under Rick's Auto Body and Detail Service as a business. You just put it in there, and then when you send the money, you just say donation or to help me out with food, whatever you put on there. I will use your money the way you say, nothing other way, because if God is blessing you to bless me, I don't want him mad at me, say, going out buying something for my van that is not crucial or something. I will use it to any way you tell me to use it. I do send money to my family to the Philippines because they have it really hard there, and I'm trying to make enough money, which I need $30,000 to clear my government debt, and then I like to have about $30,000 to $50,000 of my money, so I'm not going to my family empty-handed, and I can repair our house that got really damaged in the typhoon. A lot of people died. You might have seen it on the news. And I can hire Filipinos from here if I had the money, and they will do the work for me, and I can use video to tell them the way I want it, and then I just send the money to my honey, or BDO. They give you 50 to 1, and money goes a lot further over there. And I like to start storing money to BDO and convert it because I get a lot more money over there when I go to be living with my family. And I got 2 new grandsons over there now, and I miss them so much. So, and I'm almost there. Once I get my portable paint booth and my HVL system, which is about $2,000, as soon as I get those 3 units, I need an air compressor. So I need about $3,200 just to get those tools. Then I can go out to all these car lots in the city like I used to and make $1,000 a day. And then I'd be on my feet. Only this time I'm going to just stay in my van, save all the money, and not be paying $800 a month for rent, $400 for electric and gas and all that stuff. That's money I could be sending, so when I get over there, I can, supply for my family and myself. That's my biggest wish. So, if you can, I'm going to put a PayPal in descriptions, and if you have the heart, you can send me a little bit of money. I'm not asking somebody to send me $3,000. I couldn't pay it back, to tell you the truth, not until I get those equipment. Then I would be all right, because when I did this body work and painting before, I also did detailing, and I was making about $1,200 a day and doing all the work myself. So I'm old now, and I've had a heart attack and 2 strokes, but somehow I got to get the initiative to get back out there and do it and make about $30,000, $40,000 in one summer, because I can do body work and paint a car. I can do about 3 or 4 a day, just depending on how much damage I have to repair. So, sorry that I just kept on going and going and going, but this was part 2, how to turn your windows into heaters, and leave a comment down below. Oh, and I wanted to tell you, a lot of people sticks the insulation, that foam insulation in their windows, or that silver stuff, and they repel the cold back out. If that works for them, it's really like defeating their purpose, and they're still trying to stay warm, but they still do that. When you do this, you're doing what they're doing, but also you're generating free heat, no money. So, and this works only if the sun's out. It don't work all the time, but when you do have to heat the van, it keeps the windows from getting cold and icy, because this lets air through, and in between the window and that, a heat barrier stays there. And when the sun is out, you can be on the other side of your van, and you can feel these 2 windows. I got the other side done. See? And it works great. It generates heat. 30 degrees out, and I think it was when the sun was hitting these 2 windows, it got up to like 65 in here, just using the 2 windows with the paint and the system I just showed you. So subscribe, because you want to see the rest of it, and you want to see how I heat the whole walls and the ceiling and the floor and even my bed, and wire it all up to a 12-volt system. And I'll teach you how to keep that 12-volt system going for at least 8 hours is what you really need. And then I go the extra mile. Mine will last between 12 and 14 hours before I have to recharge. And I'm going to show you the charging system and everything and what I use. As you can see right now, I'm running an inverter, and I'm running a shop light to put the light inside. And it's been on all this time, and it's not even flickered or nothing. So you'll want to subscribe. And let me know what you think. And tell me how you're living. If you're homeless, or if you're living in a tent in the woods, I got three women, one in the, well, two. One died. Some wolves got her, invaded her camp. I forgot about that. And it was live on my video channel on YouTube. But one's in UK, living in the woods, and she uses rocks to keep her tent nice and warm. And if you need to know that information, go watch my other videos. I got 2 channels, by the way. Sorry I'm winding, but there's just so much information I can give you. And once you get set up, you don't have to keep spending the money buying propane tanks all the time, or having a $2,000 what do they call it? Solar and generator, or having to put a generator out and everything, and spending all that gas money and everything when you need it for gas to drive from wherever you're going, to keep your van going and to keep food in your refrigerator and stuff. So I'm going to teach you all of that. You should be able, I can show you how to live on $20 a week of food. And I can show you how to live pretty much free with heating your van, and having electricity. And I can show you how to insulate your van with a 12-volt system, and you don't have to have a Mr. Buddy and spending all that money for those canisters. Because so many people are buying them. Within the last 2 years, they've jumped up $4. Oh my goodness. Can you afford that? Do you have that much money coming in your disability? And I'm going to teach you, once you're set up in your van, how you can travel and go anywhere you want and live free on your Social Security, your disability, and not have to spend that much, and still have a little bit of money left over. So if you're with friends, or you're at a site like a boondock site, or even if you got the money to be at a campgrounds, you don't have to be watching everybody, having pop or even a beer. Some of you drink beer or whatever. I'm going to teach you how to do all of that and live and not really have to spend money staying warm and cooking. Cooking, a little bit of money, but I have a system for that too. I mean, actually, you can cook for free, and pretty much free, and I can show you how to cook. Now, I got other heating systems where instead of, when you go get a new catalytic converter on your car, instead of turning the core in, how to use that catalytic converter, turning it into a heater for your van, and use flex pipe to run on the baseboard, say, and you got a baseboard free heater, and Platinum will store heat and conserve heat and put heat out hotter than what you're putting in. And I proved this on my video like 5 years ago.